This is something I talk about on my program frequently. Is food. What do you eat? I have a question. If you're watching the live stream, post in the chat room, what did you eat today? If you haven't eaten anything yet, I don't know. What did you eat yesterday? What was the last thing you ate? Okay. Did you have breakfast, lunch, whatever it was? I don't care what it was. I don't care, but just tell me what was the last thing you ate. Right? If you're watching the video, scroll down and leave a comment before you write anything else. That's my action for you. But this is something I talk about on my program often. And to me, it's always good to have supporting evidence of my theories, If I believe the world is a certain way, and then evidence came out contrary, I'd have to square that and figure out which side I come on. But on my show, I talk a lot about fast food. I talk about unhealthy food. I talk about how 95% of Americans don't eat fiber. What is fiber? Fruits, vegetables. 95% of Americans don't eat fruits or vegetables. 93% of Americans have minimum low-level metabolic dysfunction. What does metabolic dysfunction lead to? Leads to liver fat accumulation, which leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It leads to type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, leads to inflammation, a weaker immune system. 93% of Americans. Hey, that's interesting. Study reveals the effect on fast food on the liver. If there was ever a reason to resist the urge to order from the McDonald's late-night menu, a new study from the Keck School of Medicine revealing the detrimental effect of fast food consumption on livers may provide just that. The study, published earlier this month in Clinical Gastroenterology and Hepatology, found that eating fast food, defined in the study as meals obtained from either a drive-through restaurant or one without a waitstaff, is associated with an increased risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition in which excessive fat builds up on the liver and can contribute to significantly increased mortality. Now, I want to take a moment here to historicize this. Why is this disease called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? Well, because originally, when this disease of the fatty liver was first discovered, it was because people that were alcoholics generally had it. Did you know, by the way, that 1 in 5 kids have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? 1 in 5. 1 in 5 kids now have a disease that for hundreds and hundreds of years would only ever happen from alcoholics. Grown adults who drank alcohol every day, now 20% of kids have the same disease. So that's why it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because when we first discovered it, it was a disease of alcohol. What is alcohol? Alcohol is fermented sugar. What is in soda? Unfermented sugar. Just as refined, just as pure, just as deadly, but one missing step. The bacterial fermentation for, how you create alcohol. Alcohol is basically sugar. Certain life forms, yeast, for example, will consume the sugar and out comes alcohol, right? That's what happens. So that's why 1 in 5 kids have a disease that 50 years ago would be extremely rare, even for alcoholics. Now 1 in 5 kids has it. A condition in which excessive fat builds up in the liver and can contribute to significantly increased mortality. The study also found that people suffering from obesity or diabetes who consume 20% or more of their daily calories from fast food have severely elevated fat levels in their livers, Compared to those who consume little to no fast food, the general population who obtain more than a fifth of their energy intake from fast food has also seen a moderate increase in liver fat versus those who do not consume as much. There is a phrase that I enjoy to describe people that are not obese, that have fatty liver, and that is an abbreviation or acronym, whatever it is, called TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. We live in a society where a lot of the country, a lot of our world loves to bully fat people. Like, you ever see those, like, swimsuit models that are plus sized? Right? And then you look at the comment sections and it's like, fatty, fatty, fatty. Look at that fat, disgusting, fat, fat, fat. Well, guess what? 93% of Americans have metabolic dysfunction, which again, like I said, leads to things like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's 93%. 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables. So someone out there who's calling someone else fat, there is a 95% chance that their diet is really nothing better. So there's a new term for you, TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. A lot of people. Now, you ask me this question, where would I rather fat accumulate? On my ass or on my organs? And I would choose my ass any day of the week. And so should you. So if someone who eats fast food all the time says like, oh, I'm thin, I got a good metabolism. No, you don't. No, you don't. The fat's got to go somewhere. You just can't see the fatty liver in the mirror because it's inside your body. So if you're a relatively thin person and you indulge in fast foods often and you think, well, I'm not fat, I'm not obese. Hey. Maybe don't give up so easily. Well, prior research in the field established a link between fast food consumption and diabetes or obesity, the study is one of the first to explore fast food's negative effect on liver health. Said Annie Kardashian, assistant professor at the clinical quote, we wanted to see if we could show and link fast food consumption to a higher risk of having fat buildup in the liver. What was surprising to me is how many people are eating fast food and how many people are eating over a fifth of their calories from fast food. Now, fast food is not very dissimilar to processed food in general. So studies have been done on processed and ultra-processed foods that have yielded the same results. So that's why I already knew all this stuff. It doesn't really take a leap in logic to see the similarities between fast food and processed and frozen meals and all that shit. Most of the shit that you get at McDonald's is pre-frozen. They throw it in a fucking skillet for 2 seconds just to get the frost off of it, and then they serve it to you, right? So it's literally just the frozen food aisle, but you pay a premium for it. And so the idea that Americans get a fifth of their calories from fast food, to me, is a useless metric. Now, again, it's interesting, you know, that's the power the fast food companies have or whatever. But I want to know what amount that they're getting from ultra-processed foods overall. Because in a lot of other studies that I've read, it's closer to 70 or 80%. Now, again, 1/5 can be McDonald's. But when 3 of the other fifths are Marie Callender, you're not doing much better. Tyson, you're not doing much better. So, hey, think about that one, Jack. Kardashian and her colleagues analyzed the most recent data provided in the 2017-18 National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, the largest annual survey in the country to explore the impact of fast food on liver health. Specifically, Kardashian and her colleagues analyzed the fatty liver measurement from approximately 4,000 adults in the survey and compared that to the fast food consumption histories. Among those surveyed, 52% of them had consumed fast food within 48 hours before taking the survey. Jesus fucking Christ. 29% of those who had fast food experienced a significant rise in their liver fat levels as they consumed 1/5 or more daily calories from fast food. Now, another thing about this article, and maybe even the people who write it, is daily calories don't mean anything. Now, I've been on this beat for a while. Calories are a myth. It's not real. There's no such thing as calories. Now, that might shock you. That, I guess, is a controversial statement. But calories don't exist. Now, where did the unit of measurement known as the calorie come from? Calorie is essentially how much energy can you get from a food item if you burn it to a crisp in a very specific experiment in like a box somewhere. Okay. But what does that have to do with the human body? Nothing, right? So them burning up a food in a box somewhere has nothing to do with the human body. And why is that? Well, let's imagine, to put it simply, you have a tapeworm. Never hear of a tapeworm? It sits inside your body and steals your food. Pretty simple analogy, right? You eat food, you eat calories, and you don't get any of it. Or maybe you get some, you know, I've never had a tapeworm. I don't know if it's like a 100% scenario. But hey, okay. Now, you might not know this, but inside of your body, there are trillions of creatures. Now, I hope you don't have any tapeworms, but you do have bacteria that live inside of you. Trillions of them. Now, think about it this way. We keep talking about God and Jesus and Allah and all that stupid shit. The real God is you. And you got trillions of motherfuckers inside of you that depend on your decisions for their survival. Right? So, based on what kinds of bacteria are inside of you, because a lot of people have a broken microbiome, because once again, I said 95% of Americans don't eat fruits or vegetables, which results in a broken gut microbiome. That changes the way you absorb food into your body, right? So you can eat 100 calories of an apple, and you, as in human body cells and your mitochondrial body cells, which, by the way, did you know that the mitochondria is a different creature with a different set of DNA? Just something to throw out there, you know? So every cell, you know, co-op, just throwing that out. Okay, a little fun fact for you. So you might only get 40 calories of that apple, you being your body. And the other 60 calories, now again, I'm just throwing the numbers out here. These are made up from me. I'm not sure exactly about 100 calories. So that's my own personal drawing a metaphor here. And the other 60 might go to your gut microbiome. And that's good. That's good. Now, again, think about it this way. When you eat food, nutritionally, there's diminishing returns, right? You can eat the same protein cooked in the same way. It's the same exact protein, but you just had 5 servings of it. You have that 6th serving. It's going to be digested differently. The 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd, and the 2nd, they're all going to be digested differently. So again, calories are not real. There is no such thing as calories. Now, why do we use calories as a unit of measurement? Fast food companies. I know, that might be a surprising one to you. Fast food companies, sugar companies, soda companies like Coca-Cola, they rallied around the calorie because they knew it was a metric of disinformation and that it would be easy to control, and it is an easy concession. So there was an awakening right? 70s, 80s, 90s. There was an awakening of people going like, maybe our diet's not looking so good. At the advent of fast food, processed food was getting into everyone's houses, right? So there's some pushback. What did these companies do? They blamed everything on fat. Has anyone here been through a low-fat diet? Yeah, you were lied to. The low-fat diet never worked. It was made at a think tank paid for by Coca-Cola. There is no low-fat diet. They lied to you. So when you go to the store and you see low-fat yogurt, that's not a thing, okay? I mean, it is literally a thing. You could buy it, but that's not like it's not beneficial because it's low-fat. That doesn't mean anything, okay? And they also put calories on everything. Why is that? Because people understand about calories. And we had the percent of daily calories. Like, oh, you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day. What? What? Who made that number up? 2,000? That's a standard? No, it's not a standard. Like, calories are made up. And who made them up? Sugar companies, soda companies, fast food companies. Now, again, calorie is a real unit of measurement that just has nothing to do with the human body. So it is true, right? The law of thermodynamics, whatever, it is true. If you use the calorie machine and you put the apple in a box in a machine, yes, it is true. You will get X calories for that apple. That is factual. What does that have to do with your body? I don't know. I have no idea. So let's keep going. We use data, this is a quote, that's already available in the data set on age, gender, race, ethnicity, physical activity, and income. Then what we did was created a model where we looked at the relationship between fast food, or more than 1/5 of the calories from fast food, with the outcome of fatty liver. Now again, the idea that you're just using that 1/5 of calories is fast food, and again, the other 4/5 or 3/5 could just be frozen food that they got at the frozen section of the grocery store, which is almost identical, if not completely identical. But hey, I know they're trying to prove the link between fast food, very specifically fast food, right? So I get it. They're trying to do that causal link. And that I think is beneficial, and I understand that. But again, I just want to put this in a broader context for you. It was particularly challenging, yet fulfilling for researchers to figure out why factors or variables are appropriate to be included in the study, said Jennifer Dodge, co-author of the study. Blah, 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 blah. Quote, when we got to the phase of the study where we were looking at fast food and its association with liver fat after adjusting for things that may be confounders, like consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages, alcohol intake, or physical activity, Dodge said, that's where it's really interesting, so you can see the whole picture. The detrimental effect of fast foods on liver health is extremely alarming to researchers, as fast food consumption has grown exponentially in the past 50 years, especially during the coronavirus pandemic. So again, I just want to put this bluntly. And now you can read the rest of this if you'd like. There's some more interesting stuff in here. And you can, of course, go find the source study. But I want to put this bluntly, okay? What is the definition of food? Whatever it is in your head, feel free to write it in the chat, in the comments, whatever. What is the definition of food? Is alcohol food? Is it? Because if your definition of food is it has calories, alcohol has calories. Is alcohol food? My definition of food is it provides your body with energy that it needs to continue functioning. That's my definition of food. Now, if you ask people, right, if alcohol is food, chances are they might say no. But under the same logic, neither is McDonald's. McDonald's isn't food. What does it do? Does it provide nutrition for your body? No. Does it provide energy that your body needs to maintain homeostasis? No. It's a drug. If alcohol is a drug, so is fast food. It's a drug. Now, am I saying that drugs are bad? No. I love drugs. I use drugs every day. Coffee, for example. I'm using it right now. But you know what? I know about coffee. I know about caffeine. I know what it does to my body. And with that knowledge, I choose not to drink coffee all day, every day. Okay? Same thing with alcohol. I know alcohol is a drug. I choose not to drink every single day. You know, but for some very interesting circumstances that may arise that would want me to, you know, but hey, I made those decisions. But how many people out there do you think genuinely believe that eating fast food has any positive value? It doesn't. It's poison. It should be treated the same way as alcohol. And the way your body treats it is very similar to alcohol. Right? So imagine, oh, I'm hungry, I'm starving. I don't have much time, but I gotta eat something. Now, unless you're already in full-fledged diabetes mode or whatever, chances are you literally don't actually need to eat something. A lot of the time, if someone is hungry, right, they're not actually in need of food from an external source. A lot of people, they have created an addiction mindset in their brain where they associate hunger with the need for specific kinds of food. A lot of people are so stupid. Did you know 75% of Americans don't drink water? I know, right? Jesus, fuck. Or they don't, rather, I should say, they don't drink the appropriate levels of water. So they're below baseline because they replace water with coffee or replace water with juice because they're fucking stupid, okay? They're dumb. So a lot of people confuse a hunger signal for a thirst signal, right? But also a lot of people, when they feel hunger, there's an association in their brain, right? And the logical part of their brain is thinking, I need something. And the addictive part of their brain that's addicted to fast food is thinking, well, Wendy's is something. And something, the logical, then that kicks it back to the logical part of the brain. And the logical part of the brain says, well, something is better than nothing. Now again, how many Americans do you think actively engage in fasting? And I'm not talking about intermittent fasting. I'm talking about fasting. I'm talking about 24-hour minimum. Now, again, I love intermittent fasting too, but I'm just saying, how many Americans do you think in the last year or two have done a 24-hour fast? How many Americans do you think have done a 48-hour fast? A lot of Americans would never even consider that because they're under the belief that something is better than nothing, and that feeds their addiction mindset. Now, again, also worth noting, not everyone is capable of fasting. Always do a lot of research before you fast. If you have access to a doctor, consult your doctor before doing something like that. Also, research what supplements you want to take for minerals if you plan on doing a long fast. But hey, I'm just throwing that out there. This is like the talking fast portion of like the medicine commercial. But anyway. So the addiction part of your brain is thinking, I need Wendy's. The logical part of your brain is thinking some calories are better than no calories, because the logical part of your brain is operating on rules that aren't really real. They're not real. So logically, it makes sense. Yeah, if you believe that a calorie is a calorie and something is better than nothing, then logically, yeah, McDonald's is better than not eating. But the set of rules that your brain is operating on are lies that were sent to you from somewhere. It started from these corporations like McDonald's, like the fast food industry, like the soda industry. It started there. It filtered through the medical industry because they buy and pay for doctors to debunk and debunked science, right? That they then push to the USDA and FDA, which then they push down into school systems, which then they push into, you know, they teach you this stuff, and then you have a kid and you're teaching your kids some outdated science, right? So, but the origin are these fast food and soda companies. They created all this stuff. All the lies that are used to keep you in the addiction mindset. So, I'm just throwing that out there. You know, just, you know, throwing a lot of food for thought in your direction. But a lot of Americans are addicted to poison. The idea that it's called fast food, to me, is a misnomer. It's not food. Now, fast, debatable, right? You ever get asked to pull up in line at the McDonald's? Pfft, we've all been there. So fast, hey, debatable. In food, well, I'm willing to say that the jury is in. And they've decided that it's not food, but it's poison. If you were drinking alcohol, if you were thirsty, and you're like, well, something's better than nothing, and you reach over for that glass of whiskey that you have, I got news for you. Something is not better than nothing. And it's the same for stuff like fast food. Now, again, every once in a while, go for it. Go for it. You know what? I am a supporter of informed, and that's underlined, bold, italicized, informed choices when it comes to drug use. For example, I drink caffeine in the form of coffee every day. Sometimes I'll drink an energy drink, maybe once a week. Maybe not even. I'll drink an energy drink, you know, just a little fun. But am I going to drink an energy drink every day? No, because it's an unhealthier form of caffeine. Coffee is healthier than a Monster, right? So I'm going to go with that. Right? You know, for alcohol, maybe I'll have a drink once a week. I'm certainly going to try to avoid having one every day, but you know, sometimes it's Christmas time. And I hate fucking Christmas, so maybe I'll get drunk every day. Who knows? You know, we can have extenuating circumstances. But it all boils down to informed. The word informed. I'm informed when I make these decisions. How many Americans do you think actually believe, like, if you ask them, you know, they would argue with you. They actually believe that if they're hungry, that Wendy's, Burger King, or McDonald's is going to feed them and give them food. How many people actually, they fundamentally believe that it's food? I'm willing to say this. If you order takeout, if you go to a restaurant, if you get fast food. Now, again, a calorie is not a calorie. But if you're going to do it, I highly recommend eating actual food in addition to the drugs. You know, I like to eat a salad beforehand. You know, even if it's like eating some baby carrots out of the fridge in addition to your Taco Bell night. You know, again, if a calorie is a calorie, you'd be eating more calories, therefore getting fatter, right? But wrong. Because again, a calorie is not a calorie. And the so-called fast food is actually not providing any nutrients. And so you might eat more. If you ate like a bag of baby carrots alongside your Whopper, you would probably be more likely to lose weight than gain weight, even though you're eating more calories. And that's because the carrots are actually fucking food, and it's actually nourishing your body. And yeah, you're sprinkling a little drugs in there. And hey, some people need to put sugar in their coffee. I say, if you need sugar in coffee, why are you even addicted to caffeine? What's the point? But also, again, the bottom line here is people need to be informed. But you know, I don't think that there's going to be much of a mass awakening on this, at least anytime soon. When do you think we're going to get to the point where we get rid of the term calorie from our lexicon? You know, I'm just, you know, When do you think we're going to evolve past calorie? So many people, they get trapped in the dietary shit and they count calories, and it's like, again, it's disinformation. Anyone who counts calories, you got lied to. You're doing everything completely wrong. If you're counting calories, you are 1000% wrong. Right? I've never been unhealthier than when I was counting calories because it hides the ball, right? What is the ball? Macronutrients. You can eat 5,000 calories of an extremely healthy salad and lose weight. How is that possible? Because it's actually fucking food and it feeds your fucking body. And when your body is well fed, guess what happens? It looks, it feels, and it acts better. And what are you? You're just your body. So anyway, that's all I got, but we'll see how many people, you know, whatever.